In the green highlands of southern Africa, beneath the sun-kissed skies of modern-day Zimbabwe, lies a forgotten city. A place of stone. Not just walls, but wonder. Its design is complex, its history deep, and its silence haunting. These stones are more than ruins. They are a riddle, one that speaks of forgotten empires, forbidden truths, and a history the world tried to erase. Welcome to Great Zimbabwe, the largest stone structure ever built in sub-Saharan Africa before the modern age. Its construction began in the 11th century, long before colonial boots touched African soil. At its peak, the city held over 18,000 people. The city was divided into three main areas: the hill complex, possibly where the king lived; the great enclosure, surrounded by a wall over 11 meters high; and the valley ruins, home to the majority of the population. Each section had its purpose, and every stone was placed with intention. The builders of Great Zimbabwe were the ancestors of the Shona people. Skilled architects, craftsmen, and spiritual visionaries. They used locally quarried granite, carefully shaped through heating and chipping. The city's walls were constructed without mortar, yet they've stood for nearly 1,000 years. This technique, called dry stone masonry, required absolute precision. For the Shona, this city was more than a capital. It was sacred, a symbol of unity, spiritual power, and leadership. Great Zimbabwe wasn't just a local power. It was global. It sat at the heart of a vast trade network stretching across the Indian Ocean. From here, gold and ivory were sent north to Kilwa Kisiwani, then by Dhow to India, China, and Persia. In return came glass beads, silk, porcelain, and spices. Archaeologists have found Persian ceramics, Chinese porcelain, and Arabian coins buried in the soil, proof that Africa was never isolated. The rulers of Great Zimbabwe grew wealthy, not just in gold but in influence. Their city rivaled European capitals of the time in complexity and economy. When European explorers stumbled upon the ruins in the late 19th century, they were stunned. Their minds couldn't comprehend that Africans had built such grandeur, so they denied it. The British claimed Great Zimbabwe was built by Phoenicians, Arabs, or even biblical figures like King Solomon. Even scholars like Cecil Rhodes funded efforts to erase African links to the site. Reports were censored, rewritten, history rebranded. But truth does not die. It only waits. By the mid-20th century, African historians, archaeologists, and local communities reclaimed the narrative. Today, the evidence is overwhelming. From pottery styles to oral traditions, the fingerprints of the Shona people are everywhere. This was an African metropolis, intellectual, spiritual, and strategic. The most iconic symbol of Great Zimbabwe is the soapstone bird. 8 of them were found on site, believed to represent ancestral spirits or royal lineage. Today, that bird proudly appears on Zimbabwe's national flag. During the fight for independence in the 20th century, the ruins became more than a monument. They became a symbol of national pride. Great Zimbabwe is not just a historical site. It is a reminder that Africa had its own empires, its own engineers, its own gold roads and glory. It challenges the false story that civilization was brought to Africa. Instead, it proves it was already here. The stones of Great Zimbabwe whisper to those who will listen. They whisper stories of power, of pride, and of a people who remembered who they were. Subscribe to Diaries of Black Africa for more stories that the world tried to silence. Because when we tell our stories, we reclaim our future.